guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Inside Cosmetics Glow Highlighter Palette. Palette comes in two different shades. One is shade A and the other is the shade B. So I've got my hands on the shade B palette. So this palette is meant for more deeper skin people and the shade A palette is for the fair skin people. So the main advantage of this palette is that there are 4 different shades in one palette, and instead of buying separate shades, you can just buy this palette and you're just done for your makeup highlighting game. And the thing about all the 4 shades is that you can match all the shades for different makeup looks, and you don't really have to particularly use one highlighter for every looks and like be a little kind of odd in the makeup. But what you can just do is that you can just buy this kind of a palette and you can just have in your makeup vanity and you're good to go for any makeup look. So now let's talk about the pigmentation of the shades of this palette. So all the shades are quite good pigmented, and for the price range it comes, it is to die for. And none of the shades were like powdery and chunky. They were gliding smoothly on the eyelids. But to note, just one shade, which is this white sparkly shade alone, was kind of little patchy, but it kind of even oxidized. So I would say you can just multi-use this palette, and instead of using as highlighter, you can go for eyeshadow shimmer, where you can just place it on your eyelids or inner corners, and it also works as highlighter shade, never mind. But also to mention, the rose gold one right here was also a little patchy, like very lightly, but you can layer highlighter on top, and I think that might work as well. So now let's look into the swatches of the shades. Let's go. So the first shade is a light white sparkly shade, and it pretty much works for some dark makeup, like if you have smoky eyes or anything dark on your eyelids. To highlight your cheeks, you can go for this one, and it is best during nights, like when you have like dark situation going on, so you can use that shade. So this is the swatch of the first shade. There is no names on the palette, but I'm just gonna mention numbers 1. So let's swatch on the cheeks now. So this is the next shade, which is a nice rose gold shade, and it pretty much works for any light makeup. Like if you have more of pinks in your makeup, I think this will suit the best. So next is the shade number 3, which is a golden champagne shade, which in my point of view is the best highlighter shade for medium skin, and probably like a go-to highlighter if you have your makeup on and you don't know what highlighter to wear, and this is the shade to go for. So the last shade, which is the shade number 4, is for when you have like a sun-kissed makeup, more of like bronzy shades in your makeup look, and this is the shade to go for. So the reason this comes in 2 different shade palettes is because certain shades might be overpowering for fair skin, and certain shades will be washing out for medium skin. And that's why the shades in the B palette are just meant for medium skin, so it's gonna work definitely, no matter what. So those are the swatches of the shades. I know they might look a little similar on the cheeks because the camera is not picking much, but in person, definitely the descriptive details that I gave on the swatches will kind of coincide with what it looks on the face. So as I mentioned, the last shade will be more sun-kissed, and the rose gold shade will be meant for more of like pinkier tones. So it pretty much works for different makeup looks. So it doesn't look the same as it may look like. So overall, this is a very good palette, and if you're looking for any highlighter palettes, this is definitely a must buy, because for the price range it comes, and for the pigmentation it is got, and the shade range it is got, it is one of the amazing palettes out there. And I would say in the affordable category, definitely this is going to be on the top list. So if you feel like one of the shades is not working for you, you don't have to untouch the shade. Instead, you can use it in other different ways. You can use it as your eyeshadow shimmer shade, and yeah, there are so many ways to be using a shimmer shade. So to conclude, if you're looking for any affordable highlighter palettes, then I would highly recommend 10 on 10 for this palette. I wouldn't say this is the best palette, but it is definitely a very good palette. And for an highlighter, I would say this is definitely more than enough. So I think that's it for this video. I hope you found this video helpful. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.